When a big player like OpenAI drops a new tool, especially one they call Canva for agents,
No.
well, the internet tends to jump straight to destruction mode.
Oh, yeah. It's always what's it gonna kill. As soon as AgentKit landed, October 6th, 2025, you saw it everywhere. RIP n8n. Just instant hyperbole.
But that whole tool wars thing, it often misses the point, doesn't it? Especially when you're talking about, serious business automation. Does the hype around easy visual building actually hold up for complex needs?
Exactly. And that's what this deep dive is all about. We're doing a really rigorous head-to-head comparison. AgentKit versus n8n. We want to cut through that noise and figure out, for you, when you'd use which one. We'll look at 6 key areas.
Okay, so let's set the stage. AgentKit, that's the new one. Low code, drag and drop, visual. Built specifically for conversational agents, and importantly, it lives entirely within the OpenAI world. It's about accessibility.
Right. And then there's n8n, been around 6 years, the established powerhouse, open source, huge number of integrations, over 500. It really targets developers, power users, people building custom, truly autonomous systems. That one's built for total control.
So our starting hypothesis, just going into the testing, was pretty straightforward. AgentKit isn't going to kill n8n. They seem built for fundamentally different users, different jobs. Let's see if that holds up.
Let's do it. First up, ease of use, or what we're calling the startup experience. Basically, how much friction is there just getting your first agent up and running?
AgentKit. It felt incredibly beginner-friendly. We gave it an 8 out of 10. The interface is just clean, minimal, basic logic like IFL, transforming data. Pretty straightforward.
Yeah, the key is speed. You can actually build your first agent, maybe doing a simple web search, in like less than 2 minutes. Seriously, no API keys needed right away, no complex setup. You just start building.
Okay, contrast that with n8n. We scored it a 6 out of 10 here. It is definitely powerful, a power user's dream maybe, but wow, there's a learning curve. You open it up and it's just hundreds of options. That same simple web search. In n8n, you've got to select specific models that have custom HTTP requests. Definitely need your API keys handy right from the start.
It asks for commitment up front, but then it gives you enormous power back later.
So for the learner just starting out, what's the main takeaway on that startup experience? Is it speed versus depth?
AgentKit gives you that fast access, that quick win. n8n makes you invest time before unlocking its real power.
Okay, makes sense. So if getting started is one thing, how does Agent actually... start. Let's talk triggers.
Yeah, and this is where you see a real philosophical split. AgentKit scored a 5 out of 10 from us. Why? It's basically limited to just the start node. Meaning interactions are almost always chat-based. You, a human, have to talk to it to kick things off.
Right. It forces that human intervention for pretty much everything. No scheduled triggers, no reacting to things happening in other apps.
Nope. No timed triggers, no listening for events in Slack or Gmail, no real background capability. It needs you to chat with it.
That feels like a pretty big limitation for genuine automation, doesn't it? For systems that should just run themselves.
Totally. If a business needs something to, say, check inventory levels every night at 3 a.m. and send an alert if stock is low, AgentKit just can't do that silently. It needs a human prompt.
So if a business needs automation that runs without someone typing into a chat, what's AgentKit's strategic problem there?
Its design inherently forces human interaction, limiting its use for those silent background processes.
Okay. And n8n on triggers.
Oh, n8n is trigger paradise. Solid 10 out of 10. Hundreds of native triggers built in. Gmail, Slack, webhooks from anywhere, databases.
Time-based stuff too, like run every hour.
Yep, time-based external events. It lets you build genuinely autonomous, scalable workflows that just hum along quietly in the background.
So it's the difference between like a chatbot assistant you have to poke versus a dedicated background system doing work silently.
Exactly that. A virtual assistant versus a silent engineer.
All right, moving on from starting the workflow. Let's get into the core stuff. What tools can these agents actually use? What can they connect to?
Okay, AgentKit scored a 5 out of 10 on tools. The built-in set is, well, limited. You get web search, something called a client tool to send data back to the chat interface, and then these things called MCP servers.
Hang on, MCP servers. Can you break that down? What is that in plain English?
Sure. Think of MCP servers as AgentKit's pre-built connectors for a few common services, like basic hooks into Gmail or Google Drive. They're easy to set up, which is nice, but the selection is really narrow compared to what else is out there.
Gotcha. And AN?
n8n is the integration universe here. Easy 10 out of 10. Yes, it has over 500 native integrations built right in, but the real superpower, it's the HTTP request tool.
Which means?
Which means if any service out there has an API, any service at all, n8n can talk to it, period. Full stop. Wow.
Okay.
And what's really cool, architecture-wise, is modularity. n8n lets you build and reuse sub-workflows. Imagine building little specialized microagents, one for analyzing sentiment, one for parsing invoices, one for summarizing emails, and then having your main agent call these as needed.
Yeah. I still wrestle with prompt drift and tool selection myself sometimes when I'm trying to chain multiple complex AI tasks together. So the idea of building one really solid, reliable sub-workflow for, say, data extraction and then just reusing that everywhere, that's incredibly appealing. Reduces so much variability.
That modular approach using sub-workflows is n8n's killer advantage for complex specialized business processes, consistency and reliability.
So beyond just the sheer number of tools, what's in the key advantage for those really specific business needs?
Its architecture lets you build modular, reusable agent systems using those sub-workflows.
Okay, let's shift to the brain behind the operation. Model support. Which AI engines can you actually use? With AgentKit, it feels like the OpenAI exclusive club. We gave it a 6 out of 10.
Yeah, the integration with OpenAI models is excellent, really deep. Easy toggles for GPT-4 versus others, reasoning effort, how chatty it is. But, and it's a big but, you are completely locked into the OpenAI ecosystem.
No Anthropic Claude, no Google Gemini, no open source models running locally.
None of that. No Azure, no AWS Bedrock, no Cohere. Definitely no local models on your own hardware. It's OpenAI or nothing.
And n8n.
n8n is the model democracy. A clear 10 out of 10. You get genuine flexibility. Anthropic, Azure, OpenAI, AWS Bedrock, Cohere, anything via OpenRouter, plus local models using things like Llama.
And you get control over the settings too, like temperature, top print.
Full control, which is crucial not just for performance, but for cost optimization.
Right, so if cost saving is a major strategic goal, why does that model democracy matter so much?
It allows you to route different tasks to the most cost-effective and task-appropriate model provider, dynamically. Save money where you can. Mid-roll placeholder sponsor content goes here.
All right, so far it feels like n8n is dominating on the pure back-end logic, the integration power, the model choice. But let's switch gears a bit. What good is all that complex logic if the user experience, the interaction, is clunky? Let's talk UI and chat components.
And this is where AgentKit really makes its case. A strong 9 out of 10 here. It's the front-end champion. Its integration with ChatKit means you can create really slick, professional-looking, branded website chat widgets and embeddable components right out of the box.
We saw HubSpot talking about this, actually. They said ChatKit saved them literally weeks of custom front-end development work trying to build a similar interface themselves.
That's huge. Weeks of dev time saved.
Absolutely. So where's the clearest, most immediate time-saving advantage with AgentKit?
Building polished, customer-facing chat interfaces takes basically 0 extra development time. Compare that to n8n, which we called the back-end beast. It scored a 5 out of 10 on UI. Its focus is overwhelmingly on the workflow logic. Yes, you can build basic chat interfaces, but they're hard to customize, hard to brand. For anything polished, you're looking at building a completely custom front end, using other tools and connecting it via API.
So it's like AgentKit gives you the finished, polished car.
Yeah.
Well, n8n gives you a powerful engine and says, okay, now build the car body around it.
That's a great analogy. Yeah.
Okay, final category, deployment and control. This gets into bigger enterprise concerns. Where does this thing run? Who controls the data? Who manages the infrastructure?
Right. AgentKit gets a 7 out of 10. It's a managed service. It runs only in OpenAI's cloud. The upside: 0 infrastructure for you to manage. Super convenient.
The downside:
OpenAI controls everything. Your data lives there. The uptime depends on them. The pricing is set by them. You have to fundamentally trust OpenAI with your critical operational data.
Okay, and n8n?
n8n is the sovereignty option. A full 10 out of 10. It offers just unparalleled flexibility. Use their cloud service, sure, or self-host it on your own servers, or even run it locally on your laptop.
And because it's open source?
You get complete data control, 0 vendor lock-in. You own the whole stack if you want to.
Whoa. Imagine scaling that level of control, running maybe 1 billion queries a month, all on your own private, completely sovereign infrastructure. That's a game changer for highly regulated industries or just for companies wanting total control.
Exactly. For compliance, data residency, it's huge.
So for a large enterprise, maybe in finance or healthcare, what's the single biggest factor tipping the scales toward n8n in this category?
Complete sovereignty and control over data and infrastructure, especially for compliance needs.
Okay, so the final scores came out: AgentKit 40, n8n 51. But like we said up front, the raw numbers don't really capture the whole picture, do they?
Not at all. The qualitative stuff matters just as much, maybe more. Take debugging, for example.
right? AgentKit, even though it's visual, sometimes when a workflow breaks, figuring out where the data went wrong between nodes can be opaque.
Yeah.
You end up digging through logs.
Whereas n8n, because it's built with developers in mind, gives you crystal clear visualization. You click on any node, you see the exact data that came in, how it was configured, and the exact data that went out. Troubleshooting is usually way faster.
Plus, there's the community aspect. n8n has 6 years of history. Forums, templates, tutorials, community support.
Yeah, a massive head start there. AgentKit is brand new, still building that ecosystem.
Which brings us back to that strategic mindset we talked about. AgentKit isn't killing n8n. They're aimed differently. We need to shift from thinking which tool wins to which tool solves this specific problem best.
That's the key. Your clients or your business, they choose you for results, for solving their problems. They don't really care which tool you used under the hood as long as it works reliably and efficiently.
So let's make it practical. When should someone choose AgentKit?
Choose AgentKit if you need something fast. Rapid deployment, simple conversational agents, quick prototypes. Or, crucially, if you want that polished chat widget on your website without spending weeks on front-end development.
And when is n8n the right call?
Choose n8n when you need flexibility with AI providers, when cost optimization across different models is critical, when you need complex background automations running silently without human intervention, when data sovereignty and control are non-negotiable, or, frankly, when you need to connect to almost anything out there using its powerful API capabilities.
It really sounds like the future is just coexistence. There's plenty of room.
Absolutely. The market for automation is massive. AgentKit is going to be huge for quick internal tools, simple customer-facing bots, people who value speed and ease above all. n8 will continue to dominate the complex, enterprise-grade, custom control scenarios. They serve different needs.
So the big idea to wrap up. These platforms serve different masters. AgentKit is about making agent building accessible, fast, easy. n8n is about giving you unlimited control and integration power. The most important thing for you, the listener, the learner, is to become tool agnostic. Focus on the problem first.
Yeah, and if you're totally new to this whole automation game, maybe start with AgentKit. Get your feet wet, understand the concepts, get some quick wins. Then, when you inevitably hit its limits for more complex tasks, graduate to n8n for that deeper power and control.
Because the tools themselves, AgentKit today, something else tomorrow, they'll keep changing. But the underlying skill, the ability to logically structure a problem, break it down, and design an automated solution, that skill is permanent. Focus on building that core problem-solving framework. That's the real investment.
Focus on the framework, focus on the outcomes. Excellent point. Until next time.